Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining and Academy's graphic design webinar. Uh, we have some good amount of participants here. So let's begin. Um, Thank you for spending this Thursday evening with us after work. It might be difficult, but we're all here to have some fun and learn while we're doing that. So I am Shubhangi from the Branding and Communications team at And Academy, and I would like to begin this webinar by introducing who And Academy is, what And Academy is, what is that we do, and why do we do it. So And Academy is a one-of-a-kind career transformation platform, and we offer courses in design, and we do this by online courses. So we have courses in the domains of graphic design, interior design, and UX UI design. Today, we'll be learning about the graphic design courses. We are joined by two of our course leads, Soumya Tiwari and Nidhi Sharma. So I would like to begin by talking a little bit about two of our course leads. So Soumya is somebody who has worked with some of the biggest brands like Yash Raj Films and Reliance Entertainment. She's interested in creating bold brand identities and crafting meaningful and inclusive communication for brands. While pixel perfect with design as an illustrator, she likes to explore the idea of imperfections and questions the ideals of beauty. She has a bachelor's in communication design from Symbiosis Institute of Design and an MA in art direction from Manchester Metropolitan University. We're also joined by another course lead of ours, Nidhi Sharma. So Nidhi is a skilled visual designer whose inclination towards employing a research-oriented approach to design led her to work closely with Kushnu Panthaki and Professor B.V. Doshi at Sangat. She's an alumna of Malviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur, and University of Illinois, Chicago. She's also worked as a research assistant at University of Illinois and completed a UX design internship at the Terra Foundation of American Art. Not just that, we're also joined by two of our wonderful and learners today, Amatullah and Darshana. So, okay, before we begin this webinar, I would like to inform you all that we'll be taking the Q&A at the end of the webinar. So I would recommend that if you have any questions during the webinar, you put it in the Q&A box. And while the presentation is going on, if you have any queries, just press the raise your hand button. So yeah, over to you, Soumya and Nidhi.
Thank you, Shubhangi. I think Shubhangi has given an introduction to a little team that we have here at AND and two of our brilliant students that you can see on screen. So I'll quickly start by welcoming you all, welcoming you to the vibrant community of students, designers, thinkers, and educators here at AND. Again, I am Nidhi. I'm the course lead for graphic design part-time course. Joining me is Soumya Tiwari, our course lead for the graphic design full-time course. Our two brilliant AND learners, Amatullah, a student from the part-time course, and Darshana from the full-time course. We'll move on to the agenda for the webinar. To introduce you to the academic ecosystem at AND, which includes what is graphic design, industry opportunities. Our students will showcase their work during their learning here at AND and the course offering at AND. And then we'll close today's session with Q&A. Moving ahead. So at AND, our aim is to introduce and teach you the fundamentals of graphic design. And in that spirit, we start with the very basics, the elements of visual design or the principles of design. So to build a strong first step in this vast and ever-changing field of design, our focus is to build the foundation first. Here, when you see the design taking over the software, what we mean is knowing a software will help you in depicting the creative idea in your head. Thus, a software becomes a tool for facilitation. And as a potential AND learner, that distinction between learning design and knowing software is necessary. So moving on. So I call this particular slide as doggo with a heart. So designing as a verb is about working on an idea, and that journey of working on design takes you to different places, and you get to wear a lot of hats, as shown in the visual. The word graphic in the graphic design is about the domain of visuals that one gets to make or break during their journey as a learner. Moving ahead. So this journey could start from you being a researcher. So asking the key questions, finding the nuances of a problem in the world or in design at hand, or switching to another role of being a thinker who imagines and daydreams. And to put that brain matter into planning as a planner, and creating by honing the skill of making something, be it by hand or digitally, as a creator. And bridging all these roles that you see on your screen is of a learner, our favorite, the one who's constantly seeking and growing. So graphic design will require you to be a multitasker. Stay mindful of that. Okay. To put it all in summary, graphic design as a discipline is about planning, communicating, and innovating. And more adjectives will describe this rapidly evolving discipline, but where ideas, experience, and messages become visible and expressed through visuals. So now I would like to invite my co-partner, Soumya, the course lead for PG Graphic Design, and our dear student who will walk you through in the next section of the webinar. Over to you, Soumya.
Okay, thank you, Nidhi. Let me talk a little bit about what kind of opportunities lie in the industry today for graphic designers. So graphic design today, if you look at it, it's become quite a versatile field. It allows you to marry it and, work with your own interest areas. So there are many different ways or areas in which you can specialize as a graphic designer based on your interest and based on your strengths. So the first one is brand identity design. Many of you would have also heard it as logo design before. We'll also look at what our students have done in a little bit that will give you a better idea of what this entails. So you could, be designing identities, visual identities for brands as a part of either their in-house team or as a part of a specialized agency that deals with brand identity design. You could then be a brand communication designer where you're working with an existing identity, helping them craft messages in a way that is impactful and easy to understand by their respective audiences. Now, even here, you could be working with an agency that specializes in brand communication design. You could also be a part of a big brand and their in-house team, right? Then with the rise of the digital age, you could also specialize as a designer who works in the digital space, designed specifically for digital collaterals, right? So you could be designing newsletters, posts for social media, campaigns for social media, banner ads, etc. Anything that you see in the digital space. You could be a campaign designer and be a part of a larger advertising agency as well, right? Now, campaign design, because it's a bigger project, it seldom happens, as a freelancer, one person executing this design. You will mostly be working and collaborating with a larger team. So somebody will look after copywriting, somebody will look after design, somebody will look after strategy. So it's a combined collaborative sort of an effort that happens in a larger team, essentially. Then print and publication today, with the rise of digital, print has become suddenly very, very innovative to compete with the digital medium rising, right? So you could specialize as a print and publication designer, work for a publication house. If you're an illustrator who's working with illustrations already, I'm sure this is something you may have already considered. A lot of people today are interested in innovating with print and how to design it. Then you could also be a motion graphic designer, so specialize in moving graphics or motion graphics / animation, as you may also know it, where you're again working with a digital team for a brand and designing specially motion graphics for their team. So like I mentioned before, everybody today needs a graphic designer, whether it is a person, a big brand, a startup, a small brand, right? So the possibilities really are endless, and they're really starting to show up with the rise of brands and technology today. So to give you a little bit of more idea about what I just spoke of, we have our lovely students here to showcase some of their work. This is always the best part of the webinar, where our students come up and they start to present their work. On that note, I would like to invite Darshana to start with the first project that we do as a part of the full-time course. Darshana, over to you. Please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Darshana. I'm currently doing my PG diploma in and academy. So this was my very first project, which was a leaf project. And the project brief here was to study the physical characteristics of leaf, and we had to represent it using lines and shapes. So we took images of leaves, actual leaf. We studied them, and we started doing quick doodles, and then we made explorations, which we then finally picked a few, and then we started making digital forms of them. And then later we were assigned words, and we had to create compositions using those words. And then we finally created a few more patterns using our leaf, and we also had mock-ups done to show how it will look in an actual product. Yeah, so this was a first assignment, which was actually a very fun task to actually study and then develop the whole thing.
Right. Also, Darshana, because this was the first project, it's just a random question that I'm going to throw at you. What was this experience like? Because this project, I think, happens in the second week of the course. So, what did you think when you were attempting this project? And also, by the way, just to tell you, this is a curated work that you're seeing. On the back end, there was many more iterations, explorations that were created by Darshana. This is just a selected few just to give you a glimpse into the process. Darshana.
Yeah, so it was a really fun task because you're actually picking a leaf and then studying. And making doodles is very different from just creating from mind. So that was something I really enjoyed doing. And the best part was the compositions, where I was assigned a word and then making those compositions. It was a challenging task, but then again, it was fun.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Darshana. Now I would like to invite Amatullah to take you through the first project that she did as a part of her part-time course.
Okay, so
Sorry, go ahead.
okay, so my name is Amatullah, and I am a part of Anne's certification program. And the first ever task that we did, so basically at the certification level, the first things and the most important things that we are taught is the basics and very like essential fundamentals of design. So our first task, or our first assignment, you can say, was mainly focused on typography. So typography was the hero of this project. So we had to basically use a word and create a poster around that word. So essentially what we were required to do is that based on that word, we were supposed to come up with an event, and then we created a mood board for that event, and then we ideated things using that particular word and created different designs and iterations of posters and everything. So one thing that was like a challenge in this project was that we were only supposed to use type, as in the word, and the use of color was very limited. So we could use maximum 2 colors to, bring out the meaning of the word and, to showcase what the event is about, all through just these very basic elements of design. So as you can see here, I've only used type and manipulated it digitally, and I've come up with the final poster of this event. And one more thing I'd like to point out. So like previously we saw that the project was on Behance, and we see on Behance what we see is like the final version, like the beautified good version of the projects that we work on. This interface that you see is basically Miro. So it is a collaborative space where you can work with your teammates or you can work alone and organize all of your project work on like this board, basically, as you can see here. So it makes it very easy, to find things and organize things, and at the end to present it and to also take it up to Behance. It becomes very easy because all of your work is compiled in one space. It seems a little new and terrifying at first, but then you get used to it. It's a very simple, space to work on. So that was my first project. Now moving on to the second project that we did. So this project was focused on print. So taking the knowledge of typography and what we learned there, how to use type and what type to use, all of that stuff was put into this project. All of that learning was put into this project. So the project was essentially about creating a brochure. And the topic that we were given were different types of embroideries. So I was given the Toda embroidery from Tamil Nadu. And the first step for this project was like doing an extensive research about Toda, developing a visual bank of different images of the embroidery, different information. And I created like digitized version of these motifs that are in the Toda embroidery. And then what we did was taking all of this information, because our final project was to make a brochure. I basically arranged all of that information into the brochure layout. And as you can see, this is a little folding mechanism of how the brochure was supposed to open and everything. And these are individual pages of how I designed the brochure. I used the motifs from the embroidery. I put in images from the people of Tamil Nadu, of the tribe that, work, like create this embroidery, and all the basic other information that we were given based on the brief that we were given. And I think for me, the best part about this project was that, usually we just design things and we just have it digitally on a screen. So we don't get to feel how amazing it actually is, So once we get it printed, we are able to hold it in our hands, see how it was digitally, see the differences of what it looks digitally and what it looks on print. And just having that little card in your hand really makes you feel amazing about, the whole process. Like it feels very rewarding at the end that, yeah, after I worked for so long, I finally have something which is really amazing. So that is one thing that I really enjoyed about this particular project.
Okay, thank you, Amatullah, for sharing your beautiful work with us. Darshana, over to you to take us through the next project now.
Yeah. So this project was Context and Enquiry, a part of our second module, where we had to pick a community and we had to research on that particular community. And we did this with the tools of Enquiry. So we started with sketches, observation, images, videos, and images actually of the people and around the community. So I took security guards, and then we started to do a mind map where I just kept the main part, security guards, in the center and just branched out stuff around them. And then we went into dialogue, which is day in the life of. So I picked two of my security guards, and then I did like a proper research of what they do throughout the day. And I wrote that and of images of them. This one is for my second security guard. It was pretty similar because this is what the life was. And then we went ahead with user persona. This is something similar to like a resume, where I interviewed them and then I understood more about them, what they want from life, what they are and who they are. And then we went ahead with emotional mapping, which is my emotional throughout the entire process. and then empathy mapping of the community, and affect mapping, which is how directly or indirectly the community is being affected. And then we went ahead with the creative part of the whole project, which was storyboard. So I created a dialogue for one of the annas, which was in a comic based format. And then we finally created postcards for the community.
All right, thank you. Moving on to brand identity design, right?
So this was our brand identity project, which was a part of our module 4. So here we actually started off with studying the parent brand and doing a proper research of them. And then we were asked to make, a brand identity system for their venture brand, which was a food and beverage sector. So here we started creating the target audience, the type of eatery, the personality, and how it aligns with the parent brand. And we also created the value, the mission, everything. And so this is the process of how the entire project was. So, and then my design concept here was to bring, freshness and purity of the food to nurture people, which very much aligns with what the parent brand is and what I wanted to showcase for my venture brand. So, and then we created a lot of iterations, and this is actually nothing compared to what we actually went through. It was a whole 4-week process. Yeah, so this is my Miro board where we did everything. All our backend work was in the Miro board, where we had a few mind maps, workshop, and then getting into concepts, idea generation, and then again making concepts out of those concepts. It was like a very lengthy process, but trust me, this was worth it for the outcome I actually got, because without this I don't think I would have made the logo that I actually made. So at the end of the day, it was worth it. And here we just did not create a logo, we actually created a system where we made patterns, icons. We also created typography that would go well with the brand, so that it can be incorporated with their brand collaterals, which can be used for the communication and other parts, which can also be used in the eatery as well. Yeah, so my breakdown of the logo, and we also made a brand manual which we had to hand over to the client, stating the do's and don'ts of the logo and giving them suggestions as to how to use the colors, the typography, the placement of the logo, so that it can give a clear idea of them as to what the whole thing is about. And yeah, so this is the typography, again the do's and don'ts. And then we created patterns which could be used for inside the brand, the eatery, like wallpapers, etc., and icons which can be used for the menu. And then this finally was the application, pots for the interior of the cafe, tabletops and frames, and then packaging labels for their parcels, and badges for the customer, for the staff there. And we also incorporated the elements throughout all our collaterals, so that we can show like the brand is, the how these elements can be used. And yeah, so this is the visiting card. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Darshana. I think this brand identity project has been really thought out really well. You looked at so much detailing and you've taken care of that. So I'm sure like a lot of research has helped you get through this, but very well thought out. Okay. Moving on. Let's not now talk about the courses that we have at AND. So we at AND Academy, like Nidhi also mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, we teach design beyond software, right? So from what you just saw, there is an entire process that goes into making something wholesome, to making it work for your brand, for their audiences, right? So it is a lot more than software, right? It is understanding who you're designing for, what you're designing, why you're designing it, and then making it, right? Software is just a tool of execution. We also mentioned at the beginning that we start from the very fundamentals and then keep building upon it. All our classes are live. We learn by doing. So it's our classes are not like this webinar where you're only on a listening mode. It's very collaborative. You may be working together in groups, presenting your work, right? So these are very interactive hands-on sessions that you will experience with us. Apart from that, our courses are stackable, so you can keep adding to your course and move to a more advanced level. And we also offer career development and placement support for our students. To tell you a little bit more about our course offerings, this is the full-time course in PG Diploma, where you have classes 5 days a week. So this is for somebody who can commit to us for the entire week, where you're taking this on full-time, right? It comes with a placement guarantee as well, and the classes happen during the day. And then we have our part-time courses. So we start at the certificate level. So if you do the first 16 weeks, that's the certification. Then if you do the next 16 weeks, you get a diploma. And if you add another 16 weeks, then you get a postgraduate diploma in graphic design. Again, with the certificate and diploma, we offer a placement support. With the PG diploma, that is the longest course over here, we also offer a placement guarantee. This course is specially designed for people who have a different commitment during the day, be it your work, be it your college, or something else even. So this course has classes in the evening. Classes usually happen from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. and they happen twice a week. Again, so coming back to the aspect of stackability, after the 16-week certificate in graphic design, these are a few options that you can get into from here. So this becomes like a starting point for you, and then you can either get a diploma or PG diploma in graphic design, or move to UI design, or move to a PG diploma in UX UI design. Yeah, Nidhi, would you want to add anything here? Or do you think we're good? Should we move ahead?
I think, yeah, we can move ahead. You've explained the breakdown of how our students have the flexibility to move around and learn everything at AND.
Okay. So this is some more information that I'm going to leave on the screen for you to soak in. Please go through it. And if you have any questions, now is the time that you can start putting them in the question and answer section, and we'll start taking them in a few minutes.
Okay. Do have some questions already. Somebody's asked, in design magazine, Illustrator, vector art are also included. I'm unsure of what this question means. Soumya, do you want to have a crack at it?
Yeah, I think if it's addressing illustrations, then we don't really teach illustrations separately as a part of the course. But if that is something you are interested in, we will help you develop it by making it a part of your project, but it's not something that we teach separately. Yeah.
Gayatri is asking, is this course completely online or is there an offline option as well? No, Gayatri, this
You answer it.
Yeah, this is a completely online course. All of our courses are completely online. There is no offline option. It's because we optimize our courses for accessibility and affordability for everyone. So you do not have to move to a location, or um, you do not have to come from a certain background for you to join this course. You just join. So yeah, all of our courses are online. Prashant is asking, I do not have any design knowledge. More people from design background have suggested me to learn UI and UX, but I'm interested in photo and video editing. Hmm. Do you want to take that, Nidhi?
Yeah, so if you have some background in I think photo and video editing, or just pure interest in photo and video editing, I think our course will provide you some skills in terms of photo editing. And with the motion graphing, I think you will get to understand the video aspect as well. But purely we start with the basics and the fundamental, as one of our student pointed. So that's the answer for you.
Yeah, Aditi is asking what prior skills and knowledge is required to join the course. Do any of our learners want to take that? Do you want to share your learnings or your experience?
Yeah, I would like to answer that. So I was actually from a background from fine arts. So it's not necessary to have any prior skill because a few of my peers were not from the same background. It's just an add-on skill. So that won't be an actual issue to have a proper prior knowledge.
Yeah. Do either of you want to add anything to that, Samya, Nidhi?
Yeah, so you don't really need anything else apart from a good working laptop and an open mind. That's it. Because we start from the very basics, we start from scratch. So you don't need a background in design at all to join any of our courses.
Yeah. Priya is asking, can we pay in installments? Yes, Priya. All of our courses have easy and flexible EMI options. We have multiple financing partners. So you can go through our website and you'll be able to have a bigger, better picture on fee. So yeah, we do offer installments. Will we be getting the required software access? Gayatri is asking. Soumya, Nidhi, do you want to take that?
No, you will have to get the softwares on your own.
Yeah.
But we will tell you which software you need to have. Yeah.
What tools and resources will we require for learning? I'm not sure if it is about softwares, as Soumya mentioned, you will have a list of softwares. You will also have a list of software that is available on our website. So I request everybody to kindly peruse through our website, and that will clear most of your doubts about softwares. Resources, I think Soumya and Nidhi are better position to answer that part of the question. So if they're talking about material for learning, Soumya, Nidhi, would you want to share some insights on that?
Right. Nidhi, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think Soumya has already answered that. You need a laptop, a good amount of time commitment to us, and a very open mind to learn design. We make you unlearn what you know, and then we teach you what we know. So just be prepared for a drilling exercise when you onboard with us.
Satish is asking, since I have a 5-year experience, I don't need job guarantee support. Will fee be reduced? I'm sorry, Satish, our courses don't work like that. However, if you apply before 15th of August, we do have a 20% scholarship, which you will be considered for. So apply before 15th of August, and we can look at your work and then can be considered for the scholarship. So that may be your way to getting a reduced fee, but we do not take up the component of job guarantee and reduce the fee. That is not something that we do. Gayatri is asking, can you share basic laptop specifications? So Gayatri, once you join the course, we have a very strong IT team that shares with you the basics of the laptop, what kind of configuration you'll be requiring, what kind of software we're looking at. So I think that for that, you'll have to enroll in the course and they'll be able to share that with you. Prashant,
Sorry, Shubhangi, just to add, if you have a laptop, consider that because you're enrolling for a graphic design course, you must have a graphic card in the laptop, a certain memory, a certain processor. Just be mindful of that. It shouldn't be like an outdated computer or a system which cannot take Illustrator, Photoshop, other softwares that we use. So just be mindful of that.
Prashant is asking for motion graphics. Do you have a course regarding what all softwares will we cover? Okay, so there is a course for motion, but the batches haven't started yet. So you can apply for that. The counselors will be able to guide you through the motion graphics application process. However, that course is not active yet. So I wouldn't recommend that you however, all of our graphic design courses have a component of motion graphics, if I'm right, Nidhi and Soumya. Yeah, so softwares, again, you'll find on the website, a lot of software questions we're getting. How does the placement support work? Supriya is asking. So Supriya, for that, we have a career webinar specifically to make you understand how the placement support works. But throughout the modules, we have career services modules that will help with LinkedIn and LinkedIn profile building and resume building, and they will have one-on-one sessions with you. So they'll be able to give you a better picture of how it works in the industry. Soumya, Nidhi, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I just want to add one little thing that our placement guarantee exists because we believe in the course that we've designed, right? And it also comes with a certain sort of a commitment from your end, right? So if you go online onto our website, you will be able to read certain conditions around that. We ask you to have about 80% of attendance and submit all your portfolio projects in time. Now that is because with design, it's only your portfolio that speaks for you, right? In the industry, the reality is that if your portfolio is nice, if it represents your strength as a designer, that is how you're able to grab a job, right? So yeah, we do give you the job guarantee, but it comes with a lot of work that happens at your end so that you can come up with a strong portfolio, because there's really no other way around getting into the industry in design. Yeah.
Okay. Gayatri is asking, we wouldn't be getting Adobe Creative Cloud access. No, Gayatri. That is something that is not happening for the rolling batches now. What kind of scholarship opportunities are available? So we offer multiple scholarships throughout the batches that have enrolled at AND. So right now we're offering an up to 20% scholarship. That is that you apply, and then they'll look at your portfolio, what kind of experience you come from, and basis of that you get a scholarship. So yeah, you can check out the website for that. Gokul is asking, any AI tool can we get to know? Okay, Soumya, Nidhi, do you want to take that?
Maybe I think you're the correct person to answer this.
So AI, if it is artificial intelligence, then probably that even Adobe, for a matter of a lot of time, has been using AI to generate, their color-based libraries, their font-based. Google is using AI. So we don't specifically go into the depth of understanding AI-based tool, but we have a module which is designed for digital, where we think about social media and how social media sort of is relevant in the industry of graphic design. So yeah, I think it's a long answer for your simple question, but explore on your own.
Radhika is asking, This field is completely new to me. I'm still a little confused about the background of graphic design. Can you please help me with that? Um, Radhika, if you have any questions about would you be the right candidate for the course, then I would recommend that you get in touch with one of our course counselors, and through that you'll get in touch with our faculty who will be able to guide you with the what kind of course you can enroll in, what is your aptitude for design and all of that. Nidhi, Soumya, do you want to add anything to that? No? Yeah.
No, you're also seeing these numbers that you can contact. So number and email. So you can reach out to any of these either emails or phone numbers, and our counselors will be in touch with you after that.
Joshi is saying, I believe everyone is working with templates and presets for speeding up the work and industry. None of them is bothered about creativity or new ideas. It is more of a comment, I think, and not a question.
But I'm sorry, Shubhangi, I'm just adding it a bit here. Don't be that pessimistic about this field. As a creative person, you should be more optimistic that all these tools will help you be more creative, right? Some of us can take that as a challenge. Some of us can be more optimistic. Stay positive. Again, as I think, Soumya, you will echo this thought with me, that Adobe Illustrator helps us. But ideas are again in this machine, right? You have it, I have it, all of us have it. So use it creatively, I guess. Go ahead, Shubhangi.
Yeah. Aditi is asking, what will the interview be like after completing the application? I believe both of our learners have gone through the interview process. So if you guys would like to share any insights from your interview session, Darshana has answered one question. Amatullah, do you want to take that up?
Okay. So basically my interview it was very normal. I mean, nothing very scary. She spoke to me about, she asked me about what I've done, what I'm doing, and why I want to, enroll in this course. And I already have a design background. So like, it wasn't very expensive. The
Darshana,
interview wasn't very expensive.
Darshana, what was your interview like?
Yeah, my interview was like pretty much the same thing, but I also went through a small assessment, and then was the interview for me.
Yeah. Soumya, Nidhi, do you want to, since you have been involved with so many interviews, do you want to share any words of wisdom on that?
Yeah, so I think these interviews are more for the both of us, for you and as well as us, to understand whether you're applying for the right course or not, right? Whether you will be able to give it so much time, whether it matches your aspirations, what we offer and what you're looking for, does it match or not, right? So it's more like a matchmaking process. We don't grill you or anything. We have a nice friendly conversation with you, so to figure out whether you're in the right place or not, essentially. Yeah.
Satish is asking, does the PG course include visual communication and advertising? Soumya, do you want to take that?
Right. So advertising is slightly more vast than what we teach. We teach you campaign design and we teach you brand communication. Then after that, if you want to specialize in advertising, you can do that by starting to work in an agency. But yes, we teach you enough so that you can get an entry into an agency like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you give access to sessions? How about mentor support? So I think
that. Sorry, go ahead.
you will get access to sessions.
No, you're helping me. You start and then I'll add.
I know for a fact that Anne gives access to sessions, but I would recommend that you attend it live and not chicken out of attendance. Must not.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I think Soumya and I both will advise you right now in the webinar itself. Don't miss your live sessions. They are very interactive. If you miss a live session, you miss a lot in terms of the concept that we build during those 3 hours when you are with us. We provide you mentor support, but you have to be there in front of us through the screens, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shubhangi.
Somebody's asking, can you elaborate in more detail what things this course will offer? I would recommend that you go through the website. There's very detailed curriculum that is available and you can go through it. And then if you have any other questions, you can ask the course counselors. I will also put the link in the chat for easy reference for everyone. But yeah. Do we require to know how to use the design softwares to work on projects prior joining the course? Yeah, Soumya, Nidhi, do you want either of you want to take that?
Okay, so no, we do teach software alongside what you learn with us, right? So it's an additional offering that we provide for people who don't know the software. So like I said, you can have absolutely zero background in design with respect to software, with respect to drawing, etc., and we'll cover that for you.
Yeah. Joshi is saying thank you. So yeah. We do not have any more questions. Okay, there is one. Is there an age limit to who can apply for the course? I'm 16 and I'm interested in the diploma course. So there is no age limit technically, but if you apply after, we encourage you to have a graduate degree and then you go for a course at end. But I think we made a few exceptions. I'm not wrong, correct me somewhere, Nidhi, if I'm not wrong. So if you're an exceptional prodigy in graphic design, we would consider you. So why not apply?
I think you've answered for us, Shubhangi. I think there was this last question. How deeply do we delve into illustration in the course? Malika, we do not understand illustration, Adobe Illustrator, through which we design digitally, or are you talking about Doodle? I think we do dwell because that's again the basics. But this is in the full-time course, you will be with your mentors and instructor 5 days. So deeper there, but in the part-time course, we provide you enough time so that you know that the basic of graphic design is covered. And I think that sort of answers your question. If it does not, please ask back.
Hamda is asking the fee is for which course? So you see the fee right opposite, right next to the course that it is for. The certificate is priced at 60,000 plus GST. Diploma is at a 1.2 plus GST. PG diploma part-time is a 1.8 plus GST and PG diploma full-time is a 2.2 plus GST. If you need any more details on fee, you can check it out on the website. There exists the breakdown with EMIs as well, or you get in touch with one of our course counselors who will be able to help you better with the fee. Yeah. Do we have any more questions? If we do, I recommend that you put it in the Q&A box so that you're able to answer them. When are classes commencing? So classes will commence in late October to mid-November, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, the recent batch started in July, mid-July. The next batch will start in November now. I guess we have reached the end of the Q&A session because we do not have any questions anymore. Wow, guys, we finished on time. Yay, us. Okay, there is another question.
Some parting questions, I guess.
Now we do have a question. Why does logo design take a lot of time?
Soumya, do you want to answer that?
Darshana,
so-
you should take this question and then we'll add to it if there is need.
Yeah, because it takes a lot of time because you first have to understand the back end, the brand, and which will help you make the logo so that it resonates what the brand is, the principles, the target audience. So it might look like there's a lot of work, but at the end, like I said earlier, it will be worth it.
Right. And it's not just a logo that you're designing, right? You're designing a solution for a brand. So you have to understand a lot of things before you do that. It's not just about creating something that is visually appealing, right? Then that is a very generic thing to do. And then that really makes no sense. It will not do anything for the brand if you don't spend time in studying and understanding its needs.
So Priya, all our batches will start in mid-November only. Thank you. Shraddha is asking if I enroll in certificate, then I want to go for a diploma. How much do we have to pay? So you start with a 60,000 and then you move on to another 60,000. So that comes to a 1.2 lakh. So because our courses are stackable, your learning also happens incrementally, and that's how you pay. So yeah, it's a 1.2 for the diploma, but you start with a certificate, so 60 plus 60. Prashant is asking, would you be able to share your graphic design experience and exposure by using design techniques? Soumya and Nidhi, would you want to share your industry experience?
So, okay. Who questioned that? I mean, who was the person who questioned?
Prashant.
Okay, so Prashant, I think you might have missed the first bit of the webinar today when Shubhangi introduced us. And to just reiterate what Shubhangi said, I come from an architectural background, but I moved to Chicago and I did my master's in design criticism. And from there on, I worked with Terra Foundation and with the University of Illinois, Chicago as a graphic designer, as a design researcher. And I think Soumya will talk about her. But yeah, you will also find about the other mentors and instructors on the website itself. So do check that out and also attend the webinar from the beginning so that you have more clarity in terms of what we teach, how we teach, and all the other things. Over to you, Soumya.
Yeah, so I don't think I want to talk about what I've done, but I can tell you that it, design as a job, it keeps you on your toes. It may seem all fun, all glossy, all glamorous, but it makes you, get your hands dirty, right? You're constantly thinking about work. There's a lot of sleepless nights involved. It has long working hours, but at the end of the day, when you go to bed, you're satisfied and happy with the kind of work you're able to do, right? And you're constantly learning and updating your own knowledge because you work with so many different brands, so many different people, so much different technology as well. So you have to constantly keep learning and work with curiosity. Yeah.
I guess with that, have we reached the end of our Q&A? Okay, so just for easy reference, I'm putting the link to the website, to the graphic design page in the chat so that you can check it out. And most of your queries will be resolved by that.
You're on mute, Shubhangi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not able to send a message to everyone, but yeah, Nidhi, yes.
I've added the website for those who are looking for, explanations and answers regarding the course, what we teach. who are the mentors, our students from previous batch, their work, all of that is there. And I think the slide in front of you is talking about the fee structure and some details where you can contact, who to contact. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Now we've answered 47 questions. Okay, I think that's about it. Thank you, Soumya and Nidhi, for the wonderful presentation. Thank you, Amatullah and Darshana, for joining us today and taking us through your work. It's always such a joy to have learners around and to be able to see their work. I am always on the lookout to just like see more and more work. It makes me so happy and excited about. And so yeah, thank you and good night. Soumya and Nidhi, do you want to say something? Some closing remarks?
No, I just think I want to thank everybody for patiently being there with us and listening to us. And congratulations to you, Amatullah and Darshana. I think you've done a fabulous job explaining your work, presenting it to people who are here today. So yeah.
Same, I echo the same thoughts, Soumya. Thank you, both of you, Darshana, Amatullah. Thank you, Shubhangi. Thank you, Soumya. And I think, yeah, thank you everyone who was here.
Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. We're hoping we'll see you in class soon. Good night. Bye bye.